Hello and welcome to the first ever intentionally produced episode of The Wild Viking here. Everything I've put out so far has been kind of testing. Hey, I got a new camera. We're just going to see how it goes. Maybe going out for a ride, just talking a little bit. So I'm really excited to actually have some production going on. I need you to bear with me. I am a one-man crew. I don't have a cameraman. I don't have video editors or audio people. It's just me doing this and learning as I go. But I'm having fun with this, and I'm looking forward to making more of these videos, as well as blogging, working on my book. Someday the book 150 proof, the Wanderlust Travels of the Wild Viking, it's going to be a thing. It's one of those things. It's a book that maybe nobody's ever going to read. Nobody will ever buy it. I don't know. That's fine, but I'm going to have fun writing it. So just going to talk about the travels I've taken and tell some stories and have a lot of fun with it. So today, though, I'm here. I want to get out and ride. That's my goal for today, but I wanted to do this video as kind of a tour of my helmet cam setup. It's not perfect, and a lot of people would have different setups, but you know, in case you're interested, I'll just show you what I did and tell you why I did how I did it. And if you're interested, great. If you're not, yeah, browse around. There's other videos out there, I suppose. But first, if you're going to do a helmet cam and do video, moto vlogging as they call it, you have to have a camera to attach to your helmet or your motorcycle. You can do that as well. The reason I wanted to attach a camera right to my helmet is because, you know, I've been out riding. I remember distinctly just last year I was riding, I accidentally ended up in Missouri. I don't know how that happened. Just, you know, I wander. It's what I do. And I turned around, headed back toward home, and there was a bald eagle sitting on the side of the road picking away at some roadkill, and took off just as I was coming to it. And, you know, I love seeing eagles along the way. They're getting more common around here. I never used to see them in the past, and I really love that. They're just majestic animals, beautiful birds, and I love to see it. So anyway, I see this eagle going along the road, and I'm like, man, I'd love to get some pictures or video of that. And of course, I couldn't. Now, if I had a camera mounted to the bike, I might have been able to catch a glimpse of it. But by having a camera actually mounted to my helmet, you know, it's going to follow where I'm looking. And so if I'm wanting to show people, take people along on the ride with me, it's nice for you to be able to see what I'm seeing along the way. So I really wanted a camera mounted to my helmet so that it could follow around where I'm looking. And I also didn't want one sticking up on the top because it just looks obnoxious and stupid. So I didn't want that. I wanted to put it on my chin. So in order to have a camera mounted to your helmet, of course, the first thing you have to have is a helmet. So what I went with, I actually bought this helmet while I was on a trip, not because it had anything to do with camera, but because when I left, I went through Texas and Arizona and New Mexico. It was 106 degrees while I was in Texas for a couple of days, and it was just hot riding. And then when I headed back from Arizona, I went through Texas again, and this time it was 46 degrees. So I decided to stop and buy a full-face helmet, if only to keep my face warm. The cold wind, it's rough traveling any kind of distance in that cold wind. So I bought a full-face helmet. I'll tell you a little bit about my thoughts on helmets. Since I've been married and having motorcycles, I started off wearing a helmet all the time, mainly, you know, to keep my wife happy. So I always wore my helmet. Then I kind of cut back because I love the feeling of freedom of not having a helmet. I also have some issues with helmets. They say that a full face helmet is not going to restrict your peripheral vision. I'm sorry, they do. Everyone that I've tried, they restrict your peripheral vision. I know when I'm changing lanes, if I'm on the highway, I want to check my blind spot, and I know exactly how far I have to turn my head to see not just next to me, but what's happening behind me. And normally I just have to look over my shoulder and I can see just fine. When I have this helmet on, I have to turn, and I have to really turn my whole body to look all the way behind me because my peripheral vision is blocked by the helmet. It's just a reality. I've tried half helmets. I've got a couple of those, or I've had a couple of those. They give you the benefit of the wind in your face. They give you, better vision, better hearing. But I feel like they tend to catch the wind and pull my head back and kind of shake side to side. I haven't ever found one that I really liked that didn't mess with me. I would wear them when I had to, but I never cared for those. Nowadays, in a previous video, if you happen to check it, I told the story of what happened just not too long ago, back in November. Had a little accident, not a motorcycle or vehicle accident. I was literally walking across the highway in the ice, slipped and fell, hit my head. And when I did that, I was unable to move. Fortunately, a police officer dragged me off the highway. I'm not going to go into that story again. It's been kind of a fun ride telling that story. There's more to it. But what I learned from that is even something small, something so minor, just slipping and falling and hitting my head that way, I lost the ability to move my body just for a matter of seconds or minutes that I couldn't physically move, and I couldn't speak. And it came right back. It was just a matter of a couple minutes, but the more I thought about it, I've always known if I'm riding without a helmet and I get into a big accident, I'm toast. I get that. I accept that. I always have. That's a risk that I take. And I've had family members get into pretty bad accidents where the helmet has saved their lives. My older brother was hospitalized for a long time. He got T-boned at an intersection where a car just ran a red light and hit him. And he's lucky to be alive. His helmet definitely saved his life. He spent a lot of time in the hospital where they had to basically put him back together. So helmets definitely do save lives. At the same time, with the restrictions that they have, I feel in a lot of ways, I'm probably 10 times more likely to survive an accident if I have my helmet on. I also feel like I'm 10 times more likely to get into an accident when I have a helmet on. Now, don't take my advice to make your own decision on wearing a helmet. That's entirely up to you. I'm just giving you, this is my thought. So I haven't always worn a helmet. I kind of got away from wearing them. But after my little incident and realizing it's not even about getting into a huge accident, that it could be a life or death situation, something minor, just getting rear-ended and knocked off the motorcycle at an intersection, I could fall and hit my head and be potentially paralyzed just from that. And that just makes me think about it a little more and made me decide, maybe I'm probably not going to wear my helmet all the time, every time I ride. I promise you, 106 degrees riding through Texas. I plan on going to Texas again this year. And I can promise you, if it's 106 degrees, in fact, if it's 90 or 100 degrees, I'll be leaving my helmet. I'll be in the back of the bike somewhere. But, between my little decision and thinking about it that way and wanting to make riding videos, you have to have a helmet to attach the camera. So this is my helmet. It's a Harley Davidson helmet. I'm not sure who actually makes it. This channel is not about Harley Davidson. I ride a Harley. I love my Harley, and I do get a lot of Harley Davidson equipment. It's great. Is it overpriced? Are you paying a bunch of extra money for the name? Yes, yes, you are. Absolutely. The same helmet would be a whole lot cheaper if it didn't have that logo. Whoever makes the helmet, I'm not sure. I could look into that. Don't care. I will say I do like the helmet because as far as helmets go, if you have a cheaper helmet, a lot of times when you're going down the road, it'll kind of shake in the wind. It'll get real wobbly, and that's obnoxious and it messes with your vision. This one is really aerodynamic, and man, when I turn my head, the wind will just kind of turn it right and face me straight into the wind. It's really a good helmet aerodynamically. It feels good on my head. It's a little heavy. I wanted the modular helmet, so the front lifts up, makes it a lot easier to put on and take off. I guess that's an old person thing. And I'm 50. I'm old, so I can get away with wearing an old person helmet, and that's fine. Make fun of me if you want. But I really do love the helmet. Obviously, you've got to have a helmet, and you've got to decide. A lot of them, the cameras you can buy come with the mount to put on top of the helmet. This one is kind of aerodynamic, so you couldn't put it dead center. It would be kind of sticking off to the side. But again, I wanted my camera mounted on my chin, so that's what I went with. Now, the modular helmets pose their own challenge, because if you want a chin mount, you've got to contend with the fact that you've got to be able to open and close the helmet. If I didn't have the modular, it stayed in place, it wouldn't really be a big problem. And I'll show you in a minute where that problem really comes from. But the first thing then that I needed besides the helmet is the actual chin mount. And what I found is this guy right here. This actually came from a website. It's chinmounts.com. I will try to remember to put this stuff into the description on the video. But this one, they actually, you put in your make and model of your helmet, and they actually have these that are designed specifically for your helmet. So you'll see this one, it fits around my release lever for the modular piece. It's machined specifically for the shape of the helmet, so it fits on there perfectly. It comes with the heavy duty 3M goo to attach it. You want to heat it up really good with a heat gun or a hair dryer. You don't want to liquefy the adhesive, but you want to warm it up really good. I warmed up the helmet itself too. Make sure that stuff sticks really good, because this stuff, this is the only thing holding your expensive, in my case, GoPro camera to your helmet. You don't want this to fall off. You want to make sure this is stuck on there really good. It also came with a tether. Here's where the tether attaches. It's just a piece of string that you put through here, and then you attach it to the camera too. So if this does fail, this will at least catch it. So you're not, sending your $500 camera bouncing down the highway. So the first piece then that I had to get was the chin mount to attach that to my helmet. Now it came with a GoPro attachment, which I have here. I've got my whole setup here. But what this did right out of the box, when I attached my GoPro to the chin mount, the camera wouldn't lean back far enough. It had to be kind of tipped either almost straight up or forward, which sounds okay, except the helmet sits on my head kind of at an angle like this, which meant the camera was facing down. So the first time I took it out just to play with it, you're basically looking either at the ground as I walked or at just the dashboard of the motorcycle in the tank. So I had to do something to get the camera angle back a little bit. And with GoPro, there's all kinds of little things you can get. I bought a little kit. It came with, you can get these anywhere, Amazon. It's basically just an extra arm. It actually came with 2 arms, but I'm only using one. You kind of play with your setup to make it work. But that little arm gets me a little bit more height for the camera and brings it up so that I can tip it back the way that it needs to be. And when I put it on now, let me go ahead and attach it here, which is pretty simple. You flip up this rubber stop here, and then it slides right into place. It locks into place there with its little clip, and then you push this thing down. That just prevents those arms from coming together. So it kind of locks the camera into place. Easier said than done if you're not looking right at it, but that will keep the camera from popping out on me. So then when the camera's on there, there's a little bit of adjustment on the angle. That's about how I have it. You tighten up these screws really tight. Normally it helps to have a screwdriver to do that. But that gets my camera attached to my helmet. I know it looks like it's going to block my vision, but the helmet sits on my head kind of like this. You can see inside there where the nose piece is. It's still below my eye level, so it can point up high enough so that you can see the road ahead of me and a little bit of my dashboard without looking down at my gas tank. So it's a pretty good little setup. Again, this came from chinmounts.com. This is an HSU extender arm. I just ordered it from Amazon. That's real easy to get. And then of course the key piece is the GoPro. This is a GoPro Hero 10. It's not the newest. I think they have an 11 out now. But the 10 is really good. I could do a talk on the resolution and all the features of the GoPro, but that's not really what I'm doing today. I'm kind of showing the setup, but you have to get there's other cameras out there. There's other good cameras out there, I'm sure. I did a little research and GoPro seemed to be the way to go, so I made that happen. The thing to keep in mind with the GoPro, if you're going to mount it on your helmet like this, you have to also get this media mod. And I have the camera. It's hard to tell because it just fits right there. The camera is actually inside the media mod. I don't know if I can open it. I think I can. Yeah. Media mod. I can't take the camera out because I have it attached down here, and I'd have to actually take it off the mount to show you. The camera would slide right out of this. Inside there is where you'd find the battery and the SD card and all the stuff that you need there. But this media mod is really important if you're going to do this kind of thing. It allows you to connect an external microphone without having, cables and extra bulky adapters in there. It comes with other things. It comes with it has several mics built in. I could put this on there if I was using the camera off the motorcycle to, muffle the wind and stuff like that. But I'm pretty much using it on the camera. But this is the setup. This works really well for me. And again, I may change my mind. I may change the setup in 6 months or a year. But this is working for me. But there is another piece to this that's really important, because I want to be able to narrate my videos. I want to be able to talk while I'm riding, not just try to dub in audio after the fact. So with the camera, I have to also have a microphone inside the helmet, and that's where it gets particularly tough with the modular helmet, because again, you've got wiring to mess with, and you have to be able to still work the front of the helmet, let it go up and down. So that's where it gets a little bit it gets a little ugly to make this work. Now, I wish I could remember the guy's name, because I learned how to do this by watching YouTube videos, and there was a guy, I think he was an Aussie. He had an accent anyway, and he showed his helmet setup and how he put a microphone in. He did a little different. We went a different route, because he went because you have to run wiring, obviously. He went from here up and over through the visor area, and he had to make a little cut here to get the wire over it. And that would have worked for me, but I didn't like that setup. I kind of wanted to go down and under. Now, unfortunately, to make this effective and to make it work, you have to you have to attach, I'm sure there's other ways, but I had to actually attach the microphone's plug to the side of the helmet. And the reason I do that, it comes with this little cord. This is the little cord. I'm going to plug this into the back of the camera. I'll see if I can do that now. It's going to be hard to do while I'm talking, but the back of the camera has some flaps here, and the bottom flap is where the microphone goes. And you know, it's a little bit hard to do at this angle. I'm trying to kind of show what I'm doing, but that goes into the back of the camera, and then I would plug it from there into, this is where the actual microphone plugs in. So I snap that into place, and then this is literally, I'm just using Gorilla Tape. Now Gorilla Tape is pretty strong stuff. It's pretty solid. It's not going to come off, and that's good. That just holds that plug there, so I can easily take the camera off and on. So far it's worked well. I can guarantee that stuff isn't moving. Now, then the trick is getting the actual microphone inside. Now I have already installed, I've got comms in my helmet, so I've got this microphone for my Sena module, which is great. That connects to my phone. I can talk to a passenger, I can talk to others, I can, talk on the phone if I need to. It's great. It's nice to have. Unfortunately, it wouldn't let me connect this microphone to use with the camera, so I had to actually install another microphone. Now what I used, these came highly recommended online. It's Purple Panda. I just got it from Amazon, but this Purple Panda is a lavalier mic. It is wired, it's not wireless, so obviously you have to connect it. The helmet doesn't have an easy way to do this, to make it happen. The microphone is intended, basically to clip to your shirt, not to be stuck inside a microphone. It does work really well. I think the audio is really good, but you have to find a way to get it inside your helmet. So what I did, and this was kind of following that other YouTube video, is kind of hard to see it in here. I'm going to try to point at it, but right in here that's where my microphone is located, and I have it's actually taped in there as well. That's just the same Gorilla Tape that I have on the outside. You can use gaffing tape, you can use whatever's going to work. I like Gorilla Tape because the stuff is crazy strong. It's not letting go. That microphone is not going anywhere, and the placement worked out just fine. The mic comes with one of those I think I dropped it on the floor here, but one of those dead cats you can use as well. I find that the foam works just great. So I just taped the microphone inside the helmet there, and it just worked out really well for me that I could take out the padding. This padding here comes off with just a couple of snaps, and there happened to be a little pocket right inside there, and I was able to take the extra wire, because the microphone, what comes off the microphone itself is probably 6 feet worth of thin wire, and you can't just cut it short unless you're really good at splicing and can do all that stuff. So I had to kind of roll up that extra wire and stick it behind the padding, tape it into there, and then put the padding back on, and then there's the wire going, it goes in and out obviously, and then I had to tape the wire inside. There's a couple places where it's hard to see, but I've just taped it into place. It seems a little crude to me, but you know what? It works really well. The wiring it stays in place. It's not going anywhere. It's fully functional. Obviously, you have to be careful when you're doing it, that you play with it a little bit to make sure that you can get your modular piece, if this is the style helmet you have, to make sure that can go up and down, that the wires have enough, there's enough excess in there that they're not gonna pull when you mess with it. And for me, that worked really well. This is perfectly, it's secure, it's stable. One thing I did find with this when I was out kind of testing it for the first time, I don't think I posted the video, but the tether, which I actually left the string in my jacket pocket, I'm not going to go get it. It's literally just a piece of strong string cord kind of stuff that's in a loop, and you put it through here, and then you attach it to the camera over here. And the thing that I figured out is that if you give it too much slack, the string will flop around. And I found in the first video that I was doing, the cord would actually come up, the tether would flop back and forth in front of the camera, and so that was really obnoxious as you were looking at the video to see the tether flopping around up there. So I did have to find a way to kind of shorten that up, and it's really simple. I'm not going to worry about demonstrating it because it's literally tying a piece of string to your camera. You can do it however you want to. But this is what I'm doing. So when you see riding videos that I do, this is the setup that I use. It works really well. I'm happy with it. Like I said, there's a good chance that I'll change it up down the road, but for now it's working for me. I would love comments and thoughts and ideas. If you use a different setup and you happen to watch my videos, I think I'm followed by about 3 people between YouTube and Rumble, but I'd love input, I'd love feedback. I really want to be as interactive with this kind of thing as I possibly can be. So definitely comment, talk to me, email me. You can't miss the email address. It's wildviking@wildviking.net. I would love to hear from people who watch the videos. I'd love comments, whatever. I'm really trying to have a lot of fun with this, and it's a lot more fun if there's some interaction. So by all means, let me know. Just remember my 3 rules. Rule number 1, when you're out there riding, don't be stupid. Self-explanatory. Don't be stupid. Rule number 2, when you are stupid, be smart about it. And what I mean by that is you're on a motorcycle. It's a lot of fun. It's naturally a little bit risky, and you're going to want to have a little more fun than you probably should. And like I say, I know, I ride a Harley Ultra Limited. Not by no means is it a sport bike, but I can tell you, I know exactly how fast my bike goes. Do I know that by reading a manual that talks about it? No. Do I know it from taking it out to a track somewhere? No. I was going to be a little bit stupid and take my motorcycle out and see how fast it goes. That's kind of stupid. I can get in trouble, can get hurt, whatever. However, I didn't do it going down, weaving out of traffic on the interstate. I didn't find out by going out where there's driveways and a bunch of traffic. I did it on a back road, a place where I can literally see for miles. There's no driveways. There are no side streets. There's absolutely nothing that could surprise me. So yeah, I was going to do something a little stupid, but I was smart about it. And likewise, I love to push the thing around the corners and see how far I can lean it. It's part of riding. It's part of the experience. I love doing it. You don't do it going in and out of traffic. You don't put yourself or other people in danger. So don't be stupid, but when you are stupid, be smart about it. But my most important rule, get out there and ride. I'm going to be out there. It's about 45 degrees now, so I'm definitely going to get out there and ride today. I hope you will too if you can. Get out there, enjoy it. Great talking to you.